If you guys want someone to watch run the new raid next Friday, my Twitch is in the description below. I had this entire video written out, then Bungie decided to drop all of ARC 3.0, minus some fragments, so I rewrote it and changed some things up. But today, we are going over the top exotics that should be insane when we get ARC 3.0 next Tuesday. These are going to be build-based, so I'm only going to do armor. If you want to see my top weapon choices, I also have a video out on that, and there will be chapters below if you want to skip to your favorite classes. We are starting off on Warlock with something that I think most players are just going to default to running in the new season, which is the Crown of Tempests. This exotic is amazing for ability regen. Sure, using something like Verities might be a little bit stronger all around and a bit easier to use, but ×3 conduction times is going to give double the regen rate compared to Verities, and then this regen is also applied for your melee and, more importantly, your super. At ×3, we are getting 525% additional grenade, melee, and super regen. And then being amplified next season, we're also going to have stronger abilities that is going to keep the ×3 up a lot more often. And then on top of this, we can also extend our super duration by up to 3 times. Pairing this with Electrostatic Mind will also make the ability regen from Ionic Traces much, much better. Up next is STORMDANCER'S Brace. Stormcaller is getting the best of both worlds in terms of its damage and its movement next season. So with this exotic, kills while Stormtrance is active are going to increase damage by 10% for up to 10 total kills for a grand total of 100% increased damage. I believe Stormtrance should also increase in damage by itself over time as you hold it. So all in all, this goes from a super for cleaning up trash ads to one that completely chunks tanky enemies. The best part about Stormdancer's Brace is that if we manage to get enough kills, which I think is just 10 kills in total, our super will be refunded up to 50%. And the Thunderous Retort mod can bring our damage up even higher. I think this is going to play super similar to Tether, where you can cast super, add clear like nuts, and then have your super ready to go again by the next wave of ads. Definitely going to be making some infinite super builds with this next season, if I can. And then lastly, I feel like everyone will just have an aneurysm if I don't mention them, but I think Geomags could also be super strong next season. Chaos Reach could be really strong depending on Thunderous Retort. Right now, I believe Chaos Reach should be one of the highest damaging supers in the game, but the main issue is that it takes so long to get the full super off. So even though the damage is high, the DPS isn't anything special. In any situation though, where ammo economy is an issue, having a Chaos Reach in the back pocket is going to end up being great. A Geomag rework with ARC 3.0 could actually make this a meta DPS exotic, similar to CUIRASS or Star Eaters. We'll have to wait and see, but definitely don't sleep on this thing next season. And with those 3 on our list for Warlocks, let's get into some Titan Arc exotics. But first, if you guys do like the content, make sure to drop a like and sub down below. Something helps me out a ton. It's completely free, and you can always change your mind later. Okay, up first on Titan is one of my personal favorite exotics in the game, an insurmountable SKULLFORT. Very simply, anytime you get a kill with a powered arc melee, you're going to get it straight back and then also start regenning health. It's a super simple exotic, really strong, but being able to use some of the Titan melees infinitely could be OP. The new charging One Punch Man Titan melee could be insane with this exotic, or just good old shoulder charge with the new Juggernaut aspect for the added tankiness. I'm not sure how it will compare to using something like Peregrine Greaves, where you get a ton of extra damage rather than just spamming the ability. Now, with ARC 3.0, our shoulder charge will also blind enemies though, so that really makes the utility of something like infinite melees a lot more geared towards crowd control, and I'm sure there will be other options to add things like the jolting effect to this as well. After this, I think the Armamentarium could be one of the best ad clear options in Season 18. The Touch of Thunder aspect is going to give Storm Grenades the ability to roam towards enemies, similar to Silence and Squall. Having 2 grenades is going to be great, and the artifact mod Lightning Strikes Twice is also coming back. When using an arc grenade, we're going to get increased grenade regen, but if we continue to get arc final blows, which these storm grenades should do automatically, then we're also going to get increased duration for this regen. On top of all of this, Spark of Shock will make our arc grenades jolt enemies, which is just free damage. Even if storm grenades don't end up being the play, pulse nades and flashbangs look really strong too. And then lastly, for Titan, we have CUIRASS of the Falling Star. I'm not going to go too in-depth with this exotic, mostly because it's super basic, and I'm only putting it on this list because if someone doesn't know about it, they need to. This just doubles the damage of T-Crash, and it also provides an overshield when activating the super. Once again, Thunderous Retort should up this damage even further. It's also way more consistent than Nighthawk Golden Gun, where you can straight up miss, and Star Eater's Blade Barrage, where pellets might not track. Everyone should know about it by now, but if you don't, make sure you have this thing ready to go on the Totens. And finally, we are on to Hunters, which actually have some of the better arc exotics among classes. First up are the goated gauntlets, Liar's Handshake. The main way to use these is to activate the perk Cross Counter by meleeing an enemy. This is then going to provide a 200% increase in damage on your next melee attack. Bungie also announced that this will still be possible on ARC 3.0 with Cross Counter and the ability to chain melees and dodges together. Killing an enemy will then trigger health regen and also provides a 20-second duration scaler, which increases melee damage by an additional 60%. This also stacks 3 times for 180% damage in total. And then lastly, a 1-2 punch shotty should add 80% damage to this combo as well. So very quickly, our melees go from base damage up to around 5.6 times that. We also get tons of health back and are pretty mobile with the combo, making us hard to hit. So this is easily one of the best Hunter builds in the game. Brand new, the flow state aspect is then going to allow us to have increased damage resistance while amplified. Spark of Resistance will take this up a notch again, and then Lethal Current will increase our melee range and make our melees jolt enemies. So this build will be better than we've ever seen it before. After this is Lucky Raspberry and Shinobu's Vow. These are almost the exact same exotic, but just for 2 different grenades. Shinobu's is for skips and Raspberry is for arc bolts. Shinobu's gives 2 skip charges, enhances the grenade, and then gives energy back on damage. Lucky Raspberry keeps you at 1 charge, enhances the grenade, and then also has a chance to fully refund it. For every enemy this hits, the chance increases by 25%. So if you hit 4 targets, the grenade has a 100% chance to come back. Overall, I think arc bolts are going to be better, and if you use them against large enough groups, they should always come back, which makes them way more consistent. And Shinobu's is just going to be easier to use and not worry about and still get energy back to keep spamming nades. Just like on Titan, Lightning Strikes Twice will also help a ton with regen, so I could easily see Hunters becoming the new grenade spam class for ARC 3.0. And then lastly on this list, we have Star Eater's Scales. Most people might be surprised by this, but if the new Gathering Storm Super competes with other top options for damage, then Star Eaters will make it way stronger than like 90% of the other options in the game. I think this could be similar to something like Blade Barrage. The super is instant cast, and then you also can just start dealing damage to a boss with weapons after. And during close damage phases like Golgoroth, it can even help keep adds off your back and make damage much safer. Overall, if this does end up just being more of an ad clear super, then something like Raiden Flux might be a really good alternative. These are my top picks for exotics to test out next season. I do have a Discord with a build crafting channel, so if you want to drop some of your favorite exotics and builds when ARC 3.0 comes out there, feel free to ping me. And I will also be testing a ton of builds live on my Twitch next Tuesday. That's all for this video, guys. As always, have a good one. Peace.